Salutations, Earth-loving viewers! Welcome to today's program, Greenhouses of the Future. First, we'd like to introduce you to our host today, Mr. Helmut Buitolin. Mr. Buitolin is an expert in different farming methods, with 30 years of experience growing his own organic vegetables, both on his farm and inside a greenhouse, making him a famed pioneer in his own country, Austria, and in the world. Now please join us and find out what he'll tell us about the latest in greenhouse technology.
Hello, eco-friendly viewers. My name is Helmut from Welcoming Austria, and our good-hearted people wish that everything you do brings you closer to God. In our program, we will look at the resourcefulness and innovation of greenhouses of the future. The use of greenhouses to grow fruits and vegetables is becoming more popular each year. In Canada, for example, the value of greenhouse crops has doubled in the past 6 years. And over the past 2 years, Russia had unprecedented growth of greenhouse acreage with a 42% rise in 2017 alone. Around the globe, there are now approximately 9 million acres of greenhouses, producing hundreds of kinds of fruits and vegetables, everything from tomato, cucumbers, peppers, lemons, limes and strawberries to lettuce, kale and herbs. Why is greenhouse production becoming ever more popular? Because thanks to exciting new technology, greenhouses are becoming more economically viable. Greenhouses can now provide many benefits over traditional outdoor farming. The primary benefit is that they can dramatically increase the amount of food grown per square meter. This, in turn, has a significant positive effect on the environment. Greenhouses give plants their optimal growing condition, allowing a plant to be grown here much more quickly than on traditional farms. Also, produce is planted much more intensively than outdoors. As a result, greenhouses' yields per square meter can be 6 to 10 times greater than yields on traditional farms, and using fewer resources. With today's concerns and how to grow sufficient food for an even more populated and hungry planet, the role of greenhouses could become even more important. Another advantage of growing produce in the greenhouse is that food can be grown much closer to its desired market. In fact, some greenhouses are now being built right in cities. For example, in the heart of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA. Metropolis Farms has just opened the world's first solar-powered vertical farm by converting an abandoned warehouse into a modern greenhouse. Now that's an innovative way to let people eat locally. The third advantage is that the greenhouse can provide delicious fresh produce all throughout the year and under all kinds of climatic conditions. Thanks to the wonderful technology of greenhouses, people living in cold climates, mountainous areas, or even in the desert now can enjoy fresh herbs, tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, limes, strawberries, and many other types of produce even during the winter months. Greenhouse-grown produce may be better for our health and the health of our planet because the environment is controlled, plants are in contact with fewer insects, and finally, greenhouses provide the protected environment for plants, thus reducing the risk associated with fluctuating weather conditions. With the ever-increasing impact of climate change, many parts of the world are more frequently experiencing droughts, excessive rainfalls, high winds or hurricanes or hail, any of which can devastate crops on traditional outdoor farms. With our fluctuating weather patterns, greenhouses may be increasingly important for food stability. The traditional greenhouse is a structure with walls and roofs made chiefly of transparent material, such as glass. The inside is fitted with equipment such as sun screening installations, as well as heating, cooling, lighting, and water systems. They are often controlled by a computer to optimize conditions for plant growth. But some exciting new emerging technologies are changing the face of greenhouses. Let's have a look at some of these. We begin our explorations with an endeavor that also bears the name Greenhouse of the Future, the brainchild of Canadian Francis Gendron. This project shows homeowners how they can grow their own organic produce all year round in their backyard. Using recycled materials, aquaponics, and passive solar heat, Gendron, along with his friends Christian Desilets and Kurt Close, designed and built a radically different food growing system. Through a documentary of the same name, Gendron explains step by step how to build our own off-grid, all-season, self-sustaining greenhouse, even in moist and cold climates.
Our design was conceived and engineered for the purpose of creating a microclimate which can produce an abundant food supply while using an absolute minimum of energy. How? By taking advantage of the synergy we create between technology and natural phenomena.
The walls of Gendron's greenhouses are built from recycled tires filled with dirt, which he says saves money and the environment, as cement is expensive and its production is a major CO2 contributor. The greenhouse is designed so that it's partially dug into the ground to take advantage of the Earth's insulating properties. Further, the orientation of the house is important for northern climates. The building is oriented with the rising sun in mind, and only the south part is covered with glass. The earth-filled tires in the wall act as a thermal mass, absorbing heat during the day and releasing it during the nighttime hours. The greenhouse is equipped with a small solar system to multiply the accumulation of heat in thermal mass. Gutters collect rainwater, filling the barrels inside the greenhouse. The greenhouse not only supplies food year-round, but it also provides a higher quality of life during the long, cold winter months. Francis Gendron described this sentiment in an interview with the French-American author and web host Lilou Mancé on Lilou Mancé TV in the year 2016.
And for me, it's even more than that, because it does that for sure, but it's quality of life as well. Just having a greenhouse, like when you have a long winter, when you live in a place where it's actually cold a big part of the year, to have the option of going there and, suntan or just play in the dirt, or like little kids, they can swim. The quality of life of having this summer right next to you every time it's sunny, even if it's cold outside, is really amazing. And of course, everything that you mentioned about food and then making sure it's organic and healthy for you and all those things.
These greenhouses are a great example of how homeowners can enjoy their own healthy organic vegan food grown by a zero carbon footprint, even in cold northern climates. When we return from this brief message, we will take a look at some of the commercial greenhouses of the future. Stay tuned to Supreme Master Television and we'll explore more in just a minute. Welcome back to our show Greenhouses of the Future. We now shift continents to Australia to take a look at some of the exciting new innovations in commercial greenhouses. Sundrop Farms officially launched its plant in Port Augusta, South Australia in 2016. Their massive 8-hectare greenhouse facilities use several state-of-the-art technologies, including concentrated solar power, thermal desalination, steam-driven electric generators, and high-quality greenhouses constructions. This is the first combined heat, power and water system powered by solar energy for greenhouse production. The greenhouse is located in the desert, about 5 kilometers from the ocean, but it is ocean water that is used to water the plants. Intake water is pumped using sustainable electricity produced by a concentrated solar plant in a 450 millimeter pipe over 5 kilometers to our desalination unit. Philipp Saumweber explains. The power to run the desalination plant is provided by a solar system consisting of 23,000 mirrors which reflect the sun's heat into a solar tower. Every day, a desalination plant converts 1 million liters of seawater into fresh water. Solar power also drives a turbine, generating sufficient electricity to operate all the lights and pumps and other electric equipment required for greenhouse operation. Sundrop's tomato plants are grown hydroponically inside nutrient-rich coconut husks. And because seawater is a natural disinfectant, the greenhouse operates completely free of pesticides. This is an exciting new technological development that can help farmers to respect life as well. Sundrop Farms' only crop is tomatoes. Loads and loads and loads of tomatoes. CEO Philipp Saumweber states, "Our farm grows more than 15,000 tons of tomatoes each year. In fact, Sundrop Farms already produces enough tomatoes to supply 15% of the Australian tomato market." Sundrop Farms is now poised to expand its operations. Saumweber states, "Now that we have proved the commercial viability of our systems with Port Augusta, we are aiming to bring Sundrop projects and produce to locations around the world. This is unlike any other farm on the planet." But what about countries that have very little or almost no land on which they build a traditional greenhouse? Is there any alternative? Thanks to innovative new technology, there is a way to grow abundant fresh produce even in the most crowded places. How? With vertical farm greenhouses. In Newark, New Jersey, USA, a company called AeroFarms has recently opened the world's largest indoor vertical farm greenhouse. They renovated a 6,500 square meter former steel mill and installed 35 rows of 9-meter high structures, each containing 12 levels of plants. AeroFarms grows more than 250 kinds of greens, including an assortment of herbs as well as lettuce, kale, arugula, and mizuna. The facility has the potential to produce up to 900 plus metric tons a year of fresh leaf greens without using any soil, pesticides or sunlight. The vertical farm has many advantages over traditional farming. We use aeroponics to mist the roots of our greens with nutrition, water and oxygen, Statis AeroFarms. Our aeroponic system is a closed-loop system using 95% less water than field farming, 40% less than hydroponics, and 0 pesticides. The plants growing here also required 50% less fertilizer than those growing on traditional farms. AeroFarms will be able to have up to 30 harvests of lettuce per year. In comparison, a traditional outdoor farm in the same area would be able to harvest only 3 lettuce crops per year. AeroFarms states, "We are able to take the exact same seed from the field and grow in half time as a traditional field farmer, leading to 390 times more productivity per square foot than a commercial field farm." In Singapore, where arable land is almost impossible to find, vertical farm greenhouses are also becoming popular. And these farms do not have to be big to do well. Madame Teo Siew Diop and her 2 adult sons operate a small but highly successful vertical farm called Packet Greens, using only 140 square meters of space, roughly the size of 2 apartments. Located in an industrial building in Boon Lay Way, Singapore, Packet Greens grows tightly packed plants on 3-meter-high racks, each holding 5 to 6 shelves using hydroponics technology and energy-saving LED lights. Madame Teo and her 2 sons now have a highly successful business growing 50 different kinds of delicious organic vegetables. They harvest 30 kilograms of produce each day and sell the fresh veggies to delighted local restaurants and markets. Why do we want to look to greenhouses for the future of farming? The Netherlands is one of the world's leading nations in greenhouse technology. Dr. Ernst van den Ende, Managing Director of Wageningen University and Research Plant Sciences Group in the Netherlands, believes that because greenhouses can produce food so efficiently, greenhouse technology is vitally important for the survival of the human race. He says, "The planet must produce more food in the next 4 decades than all farmers in the history have harvested over the past 8,000 years." This concern was echoed by a recent National Geographic article which stated, "If massive increases in agricultural yield are not achieved, matched by massive decreases in the use of water and fossil fuels, 1 billion or more people may face starvation. Hunger could be the 21st century's most urgent problem." Because greenhouses can produce food under almost any climatic conditions, using far less water and with substantially higher yields than traditional farming methods, high-technology greenhouses could become even more important in the future, providing a stable source of high quality and delicious fruits and vegetables. Thank you, beloved viewers, for your loving company today. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for Turn Within to Progress Spiritually, Part 1 of 2, In Between Master and Disciples. May you continue to strive for our world's protection with all God's love and blessing.